I'm Kendra Cook, your host for today's DCTV News at Noon program out of Dev Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translator Association, which is the special district association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there is a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us here at the station 970-677-4119. If you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out more about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Thursday program, which is aired at noon, 2 and 6 p.m. It's also available on demand online at both our YouTube channel and our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page. This is the program for January 23rd, 2020, DCTV's News at Noon. The Journal reports on an update of the blight at the south end of town with a photo Jim Imiaga. At Cortez's southern entrance stands an abandoned M&M truck stop, riddled with graffiti and broken windows and containing contaminated soil. The eyesore on 5 acres of private property has long been a perplexing problem, and the Montezuma County Commission has vowed to reach out to the owners to help find a solution. The once popular restaurant and truck stop closed back in 2001 and has been deteriorating ever since. It has changed hands a few times, including through the delinquent tax sales process. In January 2017, a consultant for the previous owner, Abbas Energy Inc., announced plans to reopen the restaurant, but nothing materialized. In June of 2017, Jovian Petroleum Corporation of Houston took over ownership, according to the county assessor database. Quote, "It has sat there for 20 years and keeps getting worse. This hurts us as a community," said Commissioner Jim Candelaria. A lingering problem is contaminated soil from a fuel spill in the early 1990s. The storage tanks have been removed, but the contaminated soil needs further mitigation, according to the Colorado Division of Oil and Public Safety. The unmitigated petroleum spill on the property prompted a civil lawsuit by the CDOPS in April of 2015. Cleanup costs are estimated between $300,000 and $500,000, according to state environmental officials at that time. But final cleanup has yet to happen, county officials said, and it is a hurdle for redevelopment. The county and property owner may be eligible for so-called, quote, brownfields. They're grants from the State Department of Public Health and Environment and CDOPS to subsidize cleanup costs, county officials said. They plan to send a letter to Jovian Petroleum about the issue and explore ways to work together to find possible solutions. Quote, "We want to reach out in a positive way," Candelaria said. The state's volunteer cleanup program is an incentive to rehabilitate industrial sites for redevelopment. It provides environmental site assessments, tax credits, loans, and potentially up to $250,000 in project funding. The program provides federal and state remedial plan approval. Banks will accept a, quote, "no further action" letter from the program as assurance that the state or EPA won't order a costly conventional cleanup. The commissioner said that the intersection of U.S. Highway 160 and 491 and County Road G has untapped business potential. Dollar General recently announced plans to build a store on the southwest corner, for example. It is on a major highway, and it's an access to Canyons of the Ancients National Monument. A local artist has expressed interest in helping to revive the M&M property and intersection by organizing a local art-based cooperative and gallery, Candelaria said. Other ideas floated over the years are a hotel, apartments, restaurant, and gas station. Commissioners also expressed concerns about the Wild Wild West property just west of Mancos on U.S. Highway 160. That property also had a petrochemical spill, and a cleanup plan was initiated by the state in 2010. Mitigation was to include removal of contaminated soil, recontouring the property, and installing monitoring stations at an estimated cost to the state of $200,000. After the petrochemical spill, a dissatisfied property owner erected a billboard that read, quote, "massive petroleum spill, toxic site," and signs with skull and crossbone icons, and, quote, "this toxic mess brought to you by the state of Colorado." The signs remain on that property. Durango and other areas are looking into this blight management strategy to enhance their appeal, and maybe it's time for Dove Creek to take a look at some of our properties as well. And local boys basketball, as reported by the Journal photo Ian McLaren. After giving San Juan Basin League powerhouse Ignacio High School all it could handle during a loss earlier this week, the Dolores High School boys basketball team put a notch in the win column when it defeated Dove Creek High School 59-53 at their home court on January 21st. Keys to the Bears' big victory was a stellar performance shooting guard Kevin Perkett, who scored a team high of 16 points and knocked down 4 key free throws in the final minute to help his team hold on to the victory. Watching Perkett's late-game free throws was especially gratifying for first-year Dolores coach Justin Schmidt, who lamented his team's poor free throw shooting during a loss to Ridgeway last week before promising that his team would improve. While the victor remained in doubt until the final seconds, the early stages of the contest were dominated by Dolores, which drained 4 three-point field goals in the first quarter, hit 2 three-point field goals in the second quarter, and carried a 31-19 lead into halftime. Players who knocked down long shots for the Bears included True Seekins, who hit 2 three-pointers in the contest en route to a season high of 8 points. Trey Seekins, William Swaggerty, and Talmadge also knocked down at least 1 three-pointer in the game. As good as Dolores' early game shooting was, however, momentum refused to stay on the Bears' side as Dove Creek began the second half with renewed energy and used a 10-5 run to cut its deficit to 43-36 heading into the final quarter of play. Key to the Bulldogs' run was the ability of junior Hayden Gray to post up on the low block and overpower smaller defenders while scoring 10 of his 15 total points in the second half. Quote, "Gray is a big dude, you know," Dolores junior Ryan Nowlin said. "Out there, you just have to be confident in your ability to defend and know that no matter who you are guarding out there, you need to play strong and do whatever works for your team." As the fourth quarter got underway and momentum hung in the balance, Dove Creek continued to attack the paint and cut the gap to 55-51 with just 50 seconds left after a driving layup by senior Ty Smith. 4 late free throws by Perkett iced the game, however, and Dolores exited its gym with a 6-point victory. Quote, "When they went to a man-to-man defense in the second half, we struggled a bit," Schmidt explained. When asked about his team's second half struggles, quote, "Dove Creek is a physical team, and there was some contact, and that was an area where we were not as effective as usual." Besides Perkett's 16 points, Dolores received 10 points from Trey Seekins, 9 points from Nowlin, 8 points from True Seekins, and 7 points from Talmadge. Dove Creek was led offensively by Cade Hankins, who scored a game-high 21 points. Now owners of a 4-8 record overall and a 1-4 record in the San Juan Basin League, Dolores will look ahead to a rivalry matchup against Mancos, which will take place in Dolores on January 28th. Dove Creek will look to improve on its 2-9 overall record and pick up its first SJBL win in 5 tries when it travels to face Telluride on January 31st. And from the Durango Herald, reporting with photos, Jerry McBride and file photos. The U.S. Bureau of Reclamation this week will start a year-long project to fix the intake structure that pumps water from the Animas River to Lake Nighthorse, which officials say was bringing in too much sediment. Tyler Artichoker, Southern Facilities Maintenance Group chief with the Bureau, said it became apparent as Lake Nighthorse was being filled from 2009 to 2011 that the intake structure located across the river from Santa Rita Park was not functioning as designed. The structure features air bladders that are filled and deflated to raise and lower the gates that allow water in. Ideally, the bladders would be inflated and positioned to take water from the surface of the river to minimize the amount of sediment coming into the system. But issues soon started to arise with the bladders, Artichoker said, allowing for more sediment than planned to enter the system. The structure is still able to operate and handle the sediment, but it does increase operational and maintenance costs to deal with it, he said. Quote, "We just didn't quite have the control on those gates that was intended," Artichoker said. "We were getting quite a lot of sediment into the intake structure and therefore into the pumps, the auxiliary equipment, and into the reservoir. Sediment can wear out equipment faster than normal, ruin turbines, and bury dam outlets. In worst-case scenarios, water storage capacity can greatly decrease though the issue hasn't risen to that level at Lake Nighthorse," Artichoker said. Quote, "There's lots of reasons to minimize sediment," he said. "The issue hadn't taken top priority over the years because operators have rarely had to pump water out of the Animas River into Lake Nighthorse since the reservoir has been full. That's mainly because operators haven't had to release water out of Lake Nighthorse for downstream users since the reservoir has been fully operational. Quote, managers have only had to pump out of the Animas into Lake Nighthorse to replace water lost from evaporation, and they're not doing that on consecutive years," Artichoker said. Lake Nighthorse is always at least 95% full, so the amount of pumping has been minimal. This year, the Bureau of Reclamation's budget has allowed for the $6.5 million retrofit. Artichoker said the contractor crew is mobilizing at the site this week and then will tackle the first phase of the project, putting up a coffer-dam in front of the intake to be able to install a new system and gates. The city of Durango hopes to get into the river next month at its intake structure upstream of the Bureau of Reclamation's project. The city's intake is just above Durango Whitewater Park alongside Santa Rita Park. A project in the summer of 2016 to divert more water into the intake caused dangerous human-made rapids, many in the boating community have said. As a result, the city hopes to do a temporary fix this winter before high flows from the spring runoff hit. That project, city officials say, is currently out to bid seeking contractors. And now let's take a look at the weather through this weekend. Today, mostly sunny skies with a high near 38 degrees, north winds around 10 miles an hour, becoming south in the afternoon. Then tonight, mostly clear, so a low will get down around 19. North-northeast winds will be low, just around 5 miles an hour, but making it feel a little cooler. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 38 degrees. Northeast winds around 5 miles an hour, becoming calm. Then Friday night, partly cloudy with a low around 20. Calm winds becoming northeast around 5 miles an hour, also again making it feel colder when it's coming from the north. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 41 degrees. North winds remain around 5 miles an hour. And Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low around just 21 degrees. For Sunday, we're also looking for mostly sunny skies with a high near 41. And still in the forecast is another bout of snow showers for Sunday night. But it's just a slight chance of snow showers after 11 p.m., mostly cloudy with a low around 25 degrees. And into next week, Monday's hanging on for a chance of snow showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 40 degrees. Monday night, a slight chance of snow showers before 11, partly cloudy with a low around 21. And Tuesday, that all should be cleared out. So Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high near 37. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 18. And now, back to the news. For all you fishing enthusiasts out there, and I know there are quite a few locally, this story is from the Journal with photos courtesy Joe Crosby. If you're going to fish, why not go for a world record? That's the attitude of angler Kelly Jo Hall of Cortez, who continues to pile up records certified by the International Game and Fish Association. When she is not at her day job finishing drywall, Hall heads off on weekend forays to regional lakes with boyfriend Joe Crosby to cast for more titles from shoreline. So far, she has 7 world records in women's freshwater fishing, a category recently created by the IGFA. Quote, "I love the challenge and the lakes," Hall says. In June and October of 2019, Hall added 4 more to her resume for reeling in tiger muskies at Blue Water Lake, New Mexico. The new records are 4 pounds 12 ounces for the 4-pound line class, 4 pounds 6 ounces for the 6-pound line class, 5 pound 2 ounces for the 8-pound line class, and 5 pound 14 ounces for the 2-pound line class. Tiger muskie are hybrid of a pike and a muskie. The sport fish are a finicky, elusive fish to catch, Hall said, and they have a peculiar habit of burying their face in the sand to try and dislodge the lure. Quote, "Luckily, I caught the largest one on a flexible parabolic pole that bends and helps prevent the line from breaking," she said. "You have to be very careful. It is stressful getting the big guy in without breaking the line." One tactic is to set a light drag and tire the fish out by letting it run, then slowly reeling it back in, repeating as necessary. Hall always fishes from the shore. She rigs up several poles at a time, so if one lure is not working or the line breaks, she can quickly cast out another one. The more time your lure is in the water, the better your chances, she says. Using fresh line is important because they become brittle when dried out. Other skills are learning fish habits, lure selection, reading the water, and studying lake topography to find the deep areas where fish hang out. To submit for an IGFA record, pictures are taken of the length, girth, and weight. The fish are released back into the water. Hall uses basic fishing poles and reels and does not use waders. She encourages other women to try for records as well. Quote, "I encourage the ladies that when you are fishing with your guy, you may as well go for a record," Hall says. "Right now, I'm actually in the top 5 of the world. The thrill of the competition motivates me. It is getting more exciting." She keeps track of what her competitors in Canada, New Zealand, and Australia are also catching. Because of her success, Hall has been invited to compete in the upcoming IGFA Light Tackle Invitational in Palm Beach, Florida, but the travel expense is too much for her blue-collar pocketbook. She's considering seeking sponsorship to help cover costs of competition events. And when the snow melts, Hall's next stop will be lakes in Utah to try and fill vacant records for tiger trout, a hybrid of brown and brook trout, and wiper, a cross between a white bass and striped bass. One of the best perks of fishing is, quote, seeing all of these beautiful places, she said. And looking forward to springtime activities, I'm sure there are a lot of you out there already getting your seeds ready for this year's hopeful gardens. But would you want to order fresh local produce online? The Journal reported on a survey out there to see if there is interest in that type of option. It's put on by the Southwest Farm Fresh Cooperative, a 20-member local farmer and rancher-owned agricultural cooperative that has been offering locally grown produce and meat in southwestern Colorado since 2014. SWFF is considering starting an online store to make their high-quality products available to more people and seeking input from you in the community. When participants complete the short survey, their email will be entered in a drawing to win a 5-liter box of 2019 apple cider from Bountiful Ridge Farm. They ask that you submit responses by this Saturday online. Go through southwestfarmfresh.com. The questions range from how important local produce is to you to how you buy your produce, and would you be likely to buy fresh produce through an online site? Other questions include asking if you would pay in advance and receive a discount, and what means of pickup or delivery you would prefer to use. There is currently a Saturday winter farmers market at Vic's Four Seasons, as they say in their commercial, inconveniently located off P Road between Dolores and Cortez. There are lots of food and craft items to choose from there, and a musical guest helps create a unique atmosphere in the greenhouse. Just last week, our local talented duo called Dulce, Michael and Jackie Lynn King, performed and enjoyed entertaining for the crowd. And today's High Canyon Country happenings. It is finally time for the town of Dolores for their Playground Plan kickoff. They're kicking things off with Play by Design this Sunday, January 26th, from 3 to 6 p.m. There is a lot of work to be done, and they need as many community members as possible to make this happen. Snacks will be provided, and it all happens at the Dolores Community Center. And if you're a river rat, then you won't want to miss the 7th annual DRBA Permit Party. That's at 6 p.m. Friday, January 24th, also at the Dolores Community Center. There will be a silent auction, river permit info, presentation on 1948 Doc Marston's run down the Dolores River from the 4th Street Bridge to the confluence with Colorado, live music, food and drinks, fun, friends, and of course the Dirtbag Boater Auction item, which is an Avon Red Shank bucket boat. Childcare is provided on site by licensed childcare providers, and the tickets are $15 at the door, $12 in advance. Most kids are $12, and most kids 12 age and under are free. I don't know what most kids means, but the food is from the Absolute Bakery and Cafe from Mancus. The drinks are from Dolores River Brewery, Wild Edge Brewing, Telluride Brewing, Mancus Brewery, Fence Line Cider, Perfect Wine, Dolores Town Water. Auction is excellent high-quality river gear from some of the best gear manufacturers in the business and lots of other very useful and cool items from the region. You can see more about the sponsors on their Facebook feed, which I have linked up on the High Canyon Country Happenings. And for the yoga enthusiasts, January 25th and 26th at the Heart Path House in Cortez, it's zero balancing sessions and Kundalini Yoga with Joanna Johnson. Joanna has developed a scope of skills in her 18 years of practice. These thorough clothing sessions address structural imbalances, visceral tension, and cranial restrictions. Discover what these elegant tools can do to eliminate your stress and how you experience stress. It runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and hosted by Turning Aspens. And as I said, I post up all of these High Canyon Country happenings on our Facebook page, which is DCTV News at Noon, where you can also watch the program replay along with the news links and stories of local interest. And you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, please contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com, or you can call us at 970-677-4119. Thank you for tuning in to News at Noon. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel or DCTV News at Noon on Facebook. If you like the program, please like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.